Okay. Most horses are not very good with engines and loud noises and stuff like that. I was cleaning up the place the other day when it was dry. Now it's raining again, and noticed that he didn't like the leaf blower. So we're going to do a little bit of groundwork. I'm going to show you what it kind of looks like to work a horse through something that they're pretty worried about, and let's see how it goes. You're not going to be able to hear me talk at all, so I'm going to actually narrate this one from my computer. So it's a better microphone than the thing that's on this camera. So my first thing I'm going to do, I will explain just quickly now. I'm going to do a little groundwork with him first, make sure he goes around me okay and understands direction. He's a pretty nice guy, usually does really well, but I'm just going to double check that. And then we'll break out the leaf blower. Great. Alright, go with me. Okay, I'm going to try to narrate this as I go. The first thing that I'm going to try to do here is just make sure that he understands how to get around me and understand the groundwork exercise that I do with just every horse that I have. And if you haven't seen my groundwork videos yet on what I think is groundwork, because everybody's a little bit different. Some people have the same thing, some people don't. But the things that I think about and the direction that I give is very specific to what I want. And so I'll link below, I'll link in the description for this video, a playlist of groundwork, and I've got a couple of videos that explain the first 3 steps and then the next 3 steps that I consider just the very basics of how to get a horse to move from the ground, left, right, forward, backwards, sort of thing, so that you have some control. So what I'm doing here is I'm just having him change directions quite a bit. He's just going too fast. He's getting nervous, and he's a little more nervous or worried one way than the other. I've already done groundwork with him, so he's got a decent idea of what he should be doing, but something's got him, a little more bothered. So I just worked that out. Now what I'm doing here is I'm just trying to get his butt away from me. When he comes towards the camera, he sort of sucks in a little bit, comes towards me too much. On the far side, he goes away from me. And I believe that's mainly because Luke's in the arena there, and he'd like to go and hang out with him, or at least go to the back of the arena perhaps. It doesn't matter. Either way, the point is that he isn't staying in the circle that I'd like him to. So as he comes towards the camera, I have to put a little bit more pressure on him, but it's incredibly important that I also keep his nose in. Now I would like him to do these exercises just at a walk. So every time he gets going forward a little bit too fast, I sort of cut him off, or I corner him and bring his nose in. So it simulates the same thing you're going to do with the saddle, which is a 1 rein stop. And you should be able to get, if you had 1 rein, that's pretty much how you'd get them to slow down, unless they could respond to you pulling back on them. So he's still sort of running around a little bit too much, mainly because I have to put pressure on him to get away from me. He's a very good horse. He's very nice. He's not one to sort of kick out or run you over, any of those things. Very respectful horse. But some horses aren't. And so it's just a really, really smart habit to make sure that they stay at least a leg's length away from you. And their nose must stay on the inside. So that's just a safety thing. And I feel that he's done pretty good. He's listening, he is making his turns, and he's going when I ask him to. So at this point, I'm going to grab the leaf blower. Now the reason I chose a leaf blower for this exercise is because I knew he would be really worried about it. He's not worried about other things. He's not worried about a flag. He's not worried about plastic bags. He's not worried about tarp. I've checked all these things out. And by chance, even though it's pretty unusual for a horse to not be worried about a leaf blower. By chance, I was cleaning up, as I already said, and he pretty much just sort of cowered in the corner of his his paddock, and I thought, okay, I'm going to get to that. And so today's that day. If you're going to do this exercise, you got to be pretty good at groundwork. You have to be quick, because he's going to be pretty worried. You'll see. Obviously, I've already done this. This is now later on in the day when I'm editing, and now I'm going to narrate this out and explain to you what I'm doing, because I certainly can't do it while I'm doing this. But you've got to be quick. You got to be able to, and they need to be able to respond to the groundwork. You have to be able to corner them, cut them off, get their hind end sort of what we call out of gear to get them stopped. If he's going around me to the left, he ought to pivot on his front left foot. If he's going around to the right, he'll pivot on his front right foot, and his back end will come around him. So, but yeah, he was really quite worried when I was just away from him. I'm 40, 50, 100 feet away from him, working it, and I could tell. I'm watching all the horses as I go about doing things, and it could be anything. You could be carrying a noisy cart or a wheelbarrow that's full of branches or something that makes a little bit too much noise, and check out when they're getting worried. And in this case, is a leaf blower. Not unusual, but important to take care of, because there's other instances where I've seen. I've taken him out quite a few times, and he gets a little bit worried around a vehicle if one starts up. So if we think about it from the horse's perspective, it's kind of magical. Now, you may note as you watch this, he makes his way further away a lot. He will naturally sort of pull that way. He'll naturally kind of go towards the other horse. So I'm constantly bringing him back to the camera as he sort of, it doesn't necessarily drag me off, but I go with him. I try not to fight him too much on stuff. I just don't believe it's going to get a lot of results by fighting on things. So I will encourage him to come towards me when I've got the leaf blower out. I've used it to sort of drive him a little bit, no different than I would use a flag or a stick or the rope to drive him forward. When my arm goes out, he ought to move. If my arm's just down by my side, he should stay. So here I'm sort of introducing it a little bit more to him, get him to touch it. He's not cool with it at all. So he's standing there, but it doesn't mean a lot. And I've said it probably many times, but a lot of horses will stand for a lot of things, but once you get them to move, it's a whole different ball game. Now, as you can see, his left eye isn't nearly as good as his right eye. He's sort of snorting. He's really getting away from this, really worried, but I'm still keeping his nose on the inside. When I ask him to go forward and get walking, he gets going, but clearly he's worried. He's a little too quick there. It's not long before when you're doing this, you just get dizzy. Totally normal. So you have to sort of keep them slowed down at a decent, not a pace that's just going to have them whirling around you. It doesn't help them at all to be going that fast. So if I was a little more adept, if this thing was lighter, I would switch directions, but I can't. So I would just corner them, just stop them. And here's actually a great example of things that you can do with anything that a horse is afraid of. Have them walk towards it. And that could be anything. You could do it with ATVs, bicycles, umbrellas, tarps, barrels, anything. If a horse will walk towards something, to the horse, it might appear that that item is evading them, is trying to get away from them. If they're coming towards it, they might get a little bit more courage from that. So that's one of the things I'll do, interspersed in trying to touch him with it, trying to get near him with it. And as you can see, I haven't even started up the leaf blower yet. We're still just getting past the idea that the thing can get anywhere near him. But you gotta take it in stages. I could have done this exercise in stages. I could have done this, I could have gotten really good with this, and then left it. And then I could come back to it and start off with it, not running. But there's a side there, you can consider that, but the other thing is that's not how leaf blowers work. They don't be. They're noisy, they blow air, they blow stuff around. So the purpose of the leaf blower isn't to be sort of this inanimate object that sort of hangs out of my hand as I try to touch them. But it actually does something. So every opportunity that you get, I don't know if you just saw there or took note, but I will pause and I'll do my best at the point that I think it's a good time to do so, to pet him. And throughout our time together, he knows that if I pet him on the forehead, there's a lot of peace and comfort there. It might not be that he loves being pet on the forehead, because I've had quite a few people say that horses don't like that. I don't necessarily believe that, but I take it into account that maybe that's the case. Maybe that could be, and that's fine. But to him, he knows from me that I'm happy with him or I'm comfortable with whatever he's done, and I'll let him know that by sort of just rubbing him on the forehead briefly and being quiet. So here I'm. If you have a leaf blower, you'll know that you can do this and have it not start by having the choke in a particular position. So I'm having it make noise and I'm sort of watching him, and I'm asking him not to leave, and he's doing pretty good. So flick the choke over, start it up, first go. He hasn't left yet. Now I'm just going to blow it at his legs, see what he does. A little worried. The other thing to note about doing this leaf blower exercise, it's a really good idea to do it on a day that is not dry. You'll get a lot of stuff that'll kick up, obviously, and because you're blowing it at them, you can very likely blow something into their eyes or their ears or their nose. So I'm doing it on a really wet day. In fact, it's raining. Not a lot, but a little. And there's very little chance that I'm going to blow something at him. And combined with that, don't blow it at their face. So here I've asked him to go. I blew it at him. He got worried. When he stopped, I turned the blower away from him. I went up to him and pet him. I'm going to repeat that a lot. You're going to see that pattern a lot. And that's going to be something consistent that they will rely on as you're doing this exercise. They're going to be looking for reassurance. They're going to be wondering, am I going to be alive? Is this cool? Am I okay? And every once in a while you'll go up and tell them, you're okay. Don't worry about this. Okay, so we worked one eye. Horses are two-sided. We're going to work the other eye now. I'm going to ask him to go. See, he's just standing there, pretty rigid. Really worried, and he's off. And I stopped him, asked him to come towards me, pet him. That's just a pattern that you can do over and over, every time. Like I said, I got a video. Maybe I'll put it below, but you're always trying to reassure them everything's okay. I'm here. Don't worry. You're safe. So, staying calm. This is the part where you get pretty dizzy. Reported him, stopped him, bring him towards me, pet him. Oh, he's not ready. Try again. Over and over and over. I'm asking him to go. He's not listening. I'm going to drive him with the leaf blower, and off he goes. Corner him because he's going too fast. Ask him to go. Drive him. Keeps going around. Corner him. But keep blowing. Now move the blower away, pet him. It's a chance. So as you can see, it's a very methodical process. And that's exactly what this is. This is a process, not an event. By no stretch of the imagination do I believe at the end of this exercise have I made him really good with leaf blowers. But he did come out of it alive. He came out of it okay. He came out of it reassured. He came out of it with me calm. And you'll see when, or unless you just fast forward in this video, but you'll see that he came out pretty good. I'll do it again. So I'm just blowing, just trying to get him used to the idea this thing is just a big hair dryer. Kind of noisy. He stayed. He hasn't gone anywhere. He's a little worried. I'll pet him. Tell him he's a good boy. He stays squared up to me. There he's licking and chewing sort of deal, and as we recognize in the horse world, when they do that, it signifies they've come off of a sort of a stressful situation. Now most of the time I've been spraying his legs with the air, get a little higher up his body, spray, blow his mane around. He got a little worried. I'll switch arms. Leaf blowers are a little bit heavy, so if you're going to do this, maybe get a really light one. I'm going to send him around again and corner him as best as I can. There. Always blow it on them until they stop. When they stop, you can then release all of that pressure. And just stay calm. But again, he's a very respectful and he does groundwork really, really well. Other horses may not be even close to this. I mean, some of them may just drag you right off, and that'll be the end of that. So you have to be very careful, very quick. So I have him come towards me. I'm very happy with that. So I move it away from him because I'm not really ready for that. No problem. Let's keep going around a little then. Blow his tail, blow his hind end. It feels weird. It's an odd thing. Okay, we're switching sides again. A little better on this side. So I think, yeah, it responded nicely. He's close to me. I don't have to go to him. I can just pet him. Now he's worried in his eyes and his ears. He's keeping a pretty sharp eye on things, but he's trusting. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a horse that looks exactly like that for this stage of the event. It's not the end result, but it's pretty good. See, he isn't going, so I got to come over and drive him. I wouldn't do anything different if I had a flag in my hand or a rope. When my hand goes out, you better get moving. I'll wait, just blow him. Hand will go out. There it goes. He's not moving because he's stuck. His feet are stuck. He knows better. He knows to go. And I gotta drive him a little. No problem. Stop him. Still blowing. Pet him. So as you can see, there's just a real consistent method of this. Now I'm checking out whether or not I can get anywhere in a different direction. I don't want him coming towards me, so my arm is up. I do want him to back up, and then I've asked him to stop. He did. Still worried though. But he stays square to me. He isn't freaking out, he isn't running off. That's quite responsive. It's really nice. Ask him to go, he went. Quite happy with that. If he went a little slower, I'd be a little happier. But you can't blame him. It's pretty new. I mean, we're only, what, maybe 15 minutes into the exercise, and he isn't going, so I got to drive him. That took less drive, less effort to make him go. Okay, ask him to stop and go. There he went. He is going a little fast, so I'm just going to keep asking him to slow down, take it easy. There. Go. Isn't going, so I'll come around, drive him. That's good. Come towards me. He does. Very, very willing. There's no tightness in the lead rope. And I don't have to wrap the rope around my hand. I know a lot of people say don't wrap the rope around your hand, but I do. If I know he's going to get pretty worried, like he is now, I'll put a loop around my hand. But I feel like I'm quick enough to be able to go with them, and if not, I can flick my hand to get it out, but I do want that extra grip. It could mean the difference between being able to save a maneuver like that or lose them completely. If it wasn't wrapped around my hand, it would probably just come right out. I'd get rope burn, and that hurts. I've done it. So I'll put a little more pressure on them, because sometimes you got to come, 120% to get back to 100. Ask them to stop, blow, come towards me. Now I'm pretty predictable, so I think I probably move it away from them, pet them. Oh, got him to go. Ask him to stop. He does. Not bad. He stuck around with me. He's a little worried, but he stuck around. And he come towards me. Pet him again. A good boy. Real good horse. Real brave for doing this. There he went. A little bit quick. Asked him to slow down a little. Now go. There. Now I've helped him out here, because I know that we're both probably getting a little bit tired of it. So I helped him out. When he went, I took the leaf blower away so that I'm not stressing him as much and he can succeed a little bit better. I'm going to pet him until he stops. He can manage that. It's pretty good. Have him come towards me a bit. And I turn it off. Now here's where some of you might stop. And you might think, I got that pretty good. But now it's not making noise anymore. And I tell you, it must be just magic to horses. They must be thinking, wait a second, it's not making noise, what's going on? And he might be thinking that it might corner, it might start up suddenly again, make noise, blow air at him, and it'll be so close to him he won't know what to do with himself. So we just sort of keep at it a bit, ask him to stop, ask him to go, ask him to stop, kind of thing. Really calm, really methodical. There's no major rodeo that's going on around here. Let him sniff it, let him check it out. Try to touch him. We need to end on a really good note. So I'm going to have to come towards me. I'm going to try again. I'm probably getting tired. I'll touch him again. But I'll ask him to come towards me. That's a real hard thing to do. And his nose comes up. Because he'd like to get away. Then I'll ask him to stick with it. We're coming to the end of this exercise here, because I don't want to leave it too long. I really want to end on something kind of decent. Well, he does pretty good in the end. Quite happy with that. We'll do this again, and he'll be way better. He might start out a bit troubled, but he'll end better than this. Always reassure them. Let them know they've been really, really good whenever you've done some stressful exercise like this.
Well, that concludes today's leaf blower lesson for him. As you can see, he's not good with it, but he's better. Some horses don't care. They really don't. I've had horses, they just look at it and they think, oh yeah, you could blow a pile of leaves around. But some get really worried. And that engine, when it turns on, gets them worried, and when it turns off, it gets them worried. Kind of weird. Anyhow, so we just keep working at it. It's the first time he's had probably experience with that, and you know, he's okay. Hey, you made it. You're alive. I know you're a big boy. Okay, that's it for now. Thanks for watching again. See you guys again soon.